So we'll just get started. I'm not sure how many of you were a part of our previous calls. This is our third one with our membership committees from the different chapters from all across, mainly the United States. So thank you for joining us today for this. If you did join us in the past, you gave us feedback that you wanted to continue to do these and to really share with your peers, whether you are having any struggles or challenges, or even just want to highlight some successes that you might have had around membership and the membership committee within your chapter. So today we have not only the chairs from membership committees, but we also have some chapter executive directors and then also some chapter board members who may or may not be a part of the membership committees. So welcome to you all. At the beginning of these sharing sessions, we like to just open it up to all of you to see if there's anything that you would like to discuss with your peers. So again, these are all people who are sitting in similar positions as you. And so really we want to just open up that open forum. Feel free to use the chat, or if you'd like, go ahead and unmute yourself if you want to throw something out to the group. I see a lot of people thinking and being quiet, which is unlike this group. Usually you are very talkative, but that's okay. We've got some things that have come in, so we'll throw those out to the group. Again, feel free to unmute yourselves, or if you want to raise your hand, that's fine as well, but this is just a very casual session. So the first thing we wanted to talk about today is, what are you all doing for recruitment? I know you guys are doing recruitment things. I hear about it when we talk with our chapters, but we'd love to hear about it from the committee standpoint.
I'll go, Kelly.
Thanks, Jill.
We actually don't have a membership committee. We're struggling to get some committees. That's one of my goals this year as president, is to really work on getting some committees put together. But tomorrow we are having a showcase, a business showcase. It's our trade show without being a trade show. And we do have several new people that will be attending that, and we will accost them at the door and force them into membership immediately. But hopefully we can get some new members out of this event. I think it's going to be a good opportunity for us.
Great. Well, good luck tomorrow, Jill.
Thank you.
What else? What else are you guys doing for recruitment efforts?
Hi, my name is Krishana. I'm a first-time joinee to this meeting. Thank you for the invitation. I'm actually the Communication Council Chair for the Washington, D.C. Metro chapter, and so I have liaison responsibilities between the membership committee and our board of directors. And one of the things that we are doing in conjunction with our chapter events committee is we have a day in the park activity scheduled for tomorrow. And so we are sending ambassadors from our membership committee to network with invitees. And we have some invitees that are not yet members of the chapter. And we hope, after meeting us and our effervescent personalities and our good marketing skills with respect to what we offer, not only as a chapter, but what CAI does nationally and internationally, that will gain some members that way.
And for that event, are you planning to give them any paperwork or giveaway item to keep it fresh in their mind, or is it strictly just networking that you're planning to do during this?
So it's been a few years ago now, but we have this actual business card type situation that we use as ambassadors. So what will happen is they will walk away with that at least, and have an opportunity to have someone to contact directly with their questions. We have what the benefits are of membership, and depending on what type of member they are, whether they're a business partner, homeowner volunteer, or manager, then we have specific people for them to reach out to on our committee that can answer any questions. And with respect to giveaways, we did have a few of our business partners, if they are inviting other members who are not members, they graciously invited them complimentary. So they took care of any sort of registration fees that are associated with that event. So no giveaways, but certainly just a lot of networking. And I know for business partners who come, they want to meet managers, right? So I always make it a point to point out a lot of managers to them in attendance so they feel as though their time was well spent.
That's great. And that business card idea is great. I know a few chapters that do similar things. Is anybody else on here? Do you guys have a business card style piece that you can give to prospective new members? I see a couple head shakes. That's great. Rich, you came off mute.
Yeah, in Nevada, what we do is we developed a benefits of membership packet, and we reach out to some prospective members, new members, and we send it to them. We also contact them and kind of like try to mentor them. And that kind of helps because we do the same thing with new members. As soon as we get a new member, we contact them, and just, you got any questions, give us a call. Here's the contact number for everybody. And but that membership packet seems to work because we list all the benefits of membership. And we send it to them, email. It's just hard to find out who the contact information for the non-members. You know what I mean? We can go through our real estate division, but they don't want to give out any information, so it's challenging.
I want to piggyback off of Krishana and Rich. One of the things, I'm in the Greater Los Angeles chapter, and one of the things that we were talking about in our meeting yesterday for our goals for upcoming is basically focusing on the benefits. Because although a packet may go out about benefits, as you know, as managers, it's just like they don't read the CCNRs. A lot of times people don't read a packet. So I think it's important for us to make sure that we are highlighting, putting a spotlight on the benefits of why you should join CAI. There's so many managers out there, and some are not connected with CAI because I think sometimes we're not able to provide even the people that are members the tools to communicate to people, non-members. This is why you should join. This is the benefit. This is what it brings to me. This is how it can, help you manage your building, be more successful in your career. You have that network of people that you like now that you get to communicate with and share your thoughts with. So I think again, we're really honing on what are the benefits, making sure we're highlighting that. Kind of like we talked about, how you have the 12 days of Christmas. Well, every month we're going to highlight, a benefit for that month. So that's something that people can use that as a talking point to bring in new members, because that's really our goal, to make sure we're sharing this great opportunity with everyone who is in this industry. For us, like I know you guys, Krishana, are doing different things. I'm sure people are doing the happy hours like we do, our holiday mixers or things like that. Which bring in people, but the goal is to make sure you're bringing in more managers and making them not only managers and business partners, but also board members. I mean, some people are sometimes afraid for their board members to know any information, but that doesn't still, they don't need you. They will still need you. So I encourage you to, tell your board members about this and encourage other managers to say, okay, let your board members know this can really help them, and serving their community.
That's great. And when you guys are doing this, are you planning to focus on just one membership type? So for example, manager members, or are you planning to segment?
No, we want to segment because we talked about, because we want to make sure we're bringing in more business partners, we're bringing in and managers and boards. So we wanted to make sure that we kind of looked at a point that would highlight all these different segments, but make sure it's an easy talking point, because if it becomes too convoluted, you don't want to get the message out. You feel like you don't represent it well. So that is our goal, to work on forming something that can be utilized across all segments, but also have a key talking point for each of those particular segments as well. Yes.
Yes, and I highly agree with that comment that was just posted in the chat. An educated board member is such an asset. They know how to work with the business partners, they know how to work with each other, and they know how to work with the manager. And so continuing that messaging when people are like, oh no, I don't want my board member here, but really you do, because it will help you in the long run once they are educated. So I'm glad that you guys are promoting that message out there too, because I think that's such a strong message to get out there. All right, anybody else? Go ahead, Rich.
We also we keep talking to our managers because we tell them they're the first line of recruitment, right? Because they get their boards and they're not members and stuff. And we even offer to come and speak with them. The membership, couple people on the membership committee will go to them and do a short presentation and answer their questions and things like that. Any prospective new who we meet at like trade shows or whatever, we invite them, a couple of them each month, to our luncheons, our monthly luncheons, so they can see what it's all about. They can talk to other people, other members, and it's just to get the word out there. And a lot of times it's successful, sometimes it's not, but we keep plugging away.
That's great. And I don't know if I don't see anyone referencing Heartland, but they have a great program where you can, there we go, Sarah, there you are. Do you want to speak? I know you have like an invite the homeowner, and at your trade shows, you have a dedicated session for them that you invite people to come complimentary. If you wanted to speak to that.
Sure. At our trade show, it starts at, I think, 4, from 4 to 7. And that first hour is, it's always an attorney. It's basically a free legal session. A different attorney does it each year, and it's a different topic each year. And so all of the board member attendees, they have to pre-register for the trade show in order to gain access. But that's always a huge hit because everyone loves free legal advice, right? But we get a good turnout, and those board members, well, a lot of them, they're older and they're not at work at 4 o'clock. Like some of us. So it works out well. And then the actual booths for the trade show, that part doesn't start until 5. That just runs from 5 to 7. So but so we also give away membership each year at the trade show. That is done by like a raffle. So, and then hopefully the next year they'll sign up again, right? So,
Sarah, do you do the raffle based on your attendance from the trade show?
Yes. So their name gets put in the hat.
Perfect.
I have a question regarding that, Sarah. When you all give away your memberships, is that something that your board allocates a certain amount of money toward, or do you have a sponsorship toward that? How does that work for, like, who pays for that?
The chapter
Okay.
pays for that. That's in our the budget for our membership committee.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Speaking of that, thanks for bringing up that topic, Sarah. How many of you have budgets that the committee gets to decide where you spend that money? That's great. Great. So just remember, we're getting into budget season. So again, think about what you guys want to do for 2023 and make sure you're going back to the boards and you're having any of those financial needs that you need for the recruitment. But speaking to that, I'd like to turn it over to my counterpart, Christy Van Buren. She is with our membership team here, and just talking about some of the recruitment efforts that we do in our recruiter club as well, to give you guys just some basic understandings of what we're doing at that national level.
Sure, Kelly, thanks. And I also want to mention, since we're talking about budgets, in case you don't know, that if there are membership marketing initiatives that your chapter does, that the national office will match those up to $500. So you spend $200, we'll match you and spend $200, all the way up to $500. So think about that if you plan a big mailing or some kind of giveaway. It's kind of loose in what the definition of a marketing campaign is. So of course we'll work with you, but if you have questions, certainly reach out to me. I can put my email in the chat about that. As far as it is half, I just saw the chat. So yeah, but if you spend 800, we'll match you 400. It's matching, if you can think about it that way. So if you spend 1,000, yes, we'll match you the 500 that you're spending, and we'll spend 500. Got it. Okay. So Recruiter Club. So this is an ongoing program through the national office. And basically what we do is if somebody signs up online or sends in a paper application as a new member and they indicate that they were recruited by somebody, that we track that in our system. And every month we'll pick the person with the most people that they recruited and send them, depending on how many they recruited, either $100 or $200 gift card to somewhere of their choosing. I think it's like Amazon or Target or something. And then at the end of the year, we also have an annual prize as well. It's a program that's been in existence for a very long time. I know some chapters kind of piggyback off of recruiting that's done and collected and tracked nationally. We are looking to revamp the program, kind of make it more exciting, and probably launch something in January related to CAI's 50th anniversary. So if there are any recruiting initiatives that you do at the chapter, or want to work together with the national office, or have questions about who in your chapter is recruiting, you can certainly reach out. But I guess that kind of leads to a question. Does any chapter do a recruiting campaign, or kind of keep track of it, or award prizes at the local level? Go ahead.
Yeah, we do it in Nevada for recruitment, and we have a monthly luncheon. So we announce the monthly winner, and then those names go in a hat. And in December, or our last meeting in November, we have a drawing for Recruiter of the Year.
Yeah, piggybacking off Rich, we do, we have our quarterly luncheons, and we pull raffles at that luncheon as well for the month, Recruiter of the Month. And at the end of the year, you're going, right now we have a campaign going, Get Lucky with CAI, where you're able, for every recruit you provide, you get a chip, and your chip goes into this bowl for a raffle that one will do every month. But at the end of the year, you have an opportunity to win the grand prize, which is a hotel stay in San Diego at a resort there. So yeah, we're doing that as well to make sure that we're basically putting on a campaign to recruit members in the Greater Los Angeles chapter. Yeah.
We try to keep up with all kinds of things, come up with different things. Our membership committee is like off the charts, and they do everything. They contact for renewals, they contact the new members. We're always in contact with people, that committee, and it's unbelievable. And we get some good results.
That's so great, because I think that's the biggest piece, is that those touch points, right? It's not just, are you coming to the education events, or are you reading the newsletter? It's forming those connections with people. And really that first step is with the membership committees and with the board, and making sure that people feel welcome at all of your chapter events and programming and everything like that. Speaking of the new members, Rich, I know a lot of the membership committees are involved in reaching out to new members. what kind of things are you guys doing or having contact with those new members?
Well, we're finding out a lot of our management companies, when they get a new board, when they contract with a new board, they automatically sign them up for the year. But what we're finding is a lot of them aren't renewing. Okay, and that's because basically maybe they're not getting told what the benefits are and stuff. So the membership committee contacts them. So starting, I think the first of the year in January, we're going to start tracking it. And when a new group gets on, when a new homeowner group comes on, or a new manager, we're going to contact them again, follow up, and like I said, try to mentor them. You know, and we have business partners, managers, and homeowners on the committee, so it works out well. They're not hearing from business partners, not hearing from a homeowner about the benefits. They're hearing from another business partner. So, but that's what we're trying. And then when they come due for renewal, we're gonna, you know, during the year, we'll still be in contact with them if they need, you know, questions or anything else. But we'll follow up towards their renewal and say, hey, you're thinking about, you know, think about renewing, you know, blah, blah, blah. You got to take advantage. You should take advantage of all these opportunities that we offer, you know?
Yeah,
So.
that's great. That's great. Anybody else? What are you doing with your new members? Go ahead, Sarah.
We do a quarterly new member breakfast. So each quarter, and sometimes there's not enough people interested in participating, but the membership committee and board members, if they're available, we go to a clubhouse at one of the communities that's centrally located and give a little presentation and ask questions and answer questions and have some food and coffee and stuff for the new members. It's very laid back and usually pretty much fun. So, and it's just, you know, an hour, 8:30 to 9:30 usually. So we've been doing that for a few years now.
Now, do you do that at a restaurant or at an office? Where do you guys?
We do that. There's a very large condominium complex that has a clubhouse. And way back when we were a small chapter, we used to do our monthly luncheons and meetings, our education sessions. We used to do them all there. And we have since outgrown that space for that purpose. But for this breakfast, it's nice and cozy and comfortable.
Great, thank you. Who else does a new member type of meet and greet style event, whether it's a happy hour or breakfast? And feel free if you want to, if you're off camera, if you want to use the reaction buttons as well for that. Lexi, I see you are, I'm guessing we're doing the reactions. That's why it's popping up. But that's great, because I think that gets the ability for, again, your board members, your committee members to get in front of these new members. And I know some of you have done this virtually during the pandemic. I know some are getting back into person, but I think it was a great way for new members to get in front of people's faces with that. So Gabby, I see you came off mute. Did you want to say anything?
Hey, Kelly. So we do a new member orientation. It's virtual, and I think we do it like quarterly. And we usually get a good attendance for that. We invite some of the committee chairs and other members of the committees to kind of like join and sit in and talk about all the, I guess, the experiences that they have had being on a committee, and how to basically like stay involved. We did earlier this year a new member kind of like happy hour for the new managers. And we had our managers committee like really help kind of take the lead on that. They did like a panel and they gave their experiences about kind of like what to expect And I think the new managers that attended, they really appreciated it because they were able to fully understand kind of a day in the life of being a manager. So we're hoping to do that again before the end of the year and definitely continue with that next year.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that. Go ahead. Christiana, go ahead. Yeah.
Thanks. One of the things that we have started doing as a committee is we have membership mixers. So we find that since we're the DC metro area and we have like a large geographical footprint, we find that our members will get feedback that, oh, you always have your thing in Virginia, or, oh, you never come to DC, or like, why don't you come to Montgomery County? You know, I'm not sure how the other larger associations deal with that on this call, but we get that feedback quite a bit. So we're trying to do our mixers in different geographic locations that will speak toward those members who feel as though we're always in the same area. But one of the things that we've done with the mixer is instead of having it like a talking heads type of thing, you know, where everyone talks at us all the time, right? Like everyone's an expert, right? So we tried to make it a bit more personable and less structured. So we have some talking points that some of us will provide at the top of the session. And then we just go around and meal about and just find out about each other. And that has worked really well. The feedback has been, it's a lot more relaxed. I didn't know you guys were so cool. Like we had a lot of attorneys in the room and someone said, oh my gosh, I didn't think attorneys were fun. And the attorneys were like, really? Like, you know, so it was just a nice opportunity to kind of break bread and have it be a bit more relaxed. So again, once we get over that geographical hump of, you know, how to do it in such a way that other of our members can join, but the mixer has been a great way for us to do that. And then we also do a buddy sort of mentor program that several of the others have already noted in their comments.
That's great. Jennifer, I see you've got your hand raised.
So to kind of tag team off of that buddy system, in our Illinois chapter, what we've been doing is assigning ambassadors to some of our new members. And we will reach out. We were doing phone calls, but that does not go. People don't want to answer their phone. And I know people don't want more emails, but the fact is people read them. And so we've been sending out emails, just giving like that personal touch and saying, hey, welcome to the organization. Here's a couple of upcoming events. And then we invite them out for like coffee or drinks. And people have been taking us up on it. You know, I feel like particularly business members, our business partners, I feel like when they join CAI, they don't know where to start. Their company has probably said, hey, we've always been members of CAI. We want you to get involved. Now go. And that business partner is kind of like, I don't know where to get started. So those are the folks that are kind of like taking me up, or our other ambassadors taking us up on our offer to meet for like coffee. And they want to learn about the benefits and how do they get involved and how are they going to meet the managers, that type of thing. So that first touch with the email has been working out really well. And those people, we find that those people that we've reached out to, they always kind of remain your contact, and they'll reach out throughout the year. Hey, Jen, I see that the golf outing's coming up. Is this something that you do? Do you think it would be beneficial for my company, etc.? And then you always have like that buddy connection, you know, through CAI basically.
That's great. Are others doing that buddy style program as well, or thinking about doing an initiative? And I'll say that I've heard some chapters even just do it at the event. So if it's someone's first time attending, or if they're a new member within a certain time frame, they'll buddy someone up with them for that event. So, you know, they've got someone to sit with at lunch and so forth like that. All right, I did see a post in the chat about items that we have from the headquarters perspective for chapters to use. Christy, do you want to talk a little bit about some of the resources that we have and how chapters have access to those resources?
Sure. So we do have a lot of digital images, files, one-pagers, things like that that are available for all of the chapters to access. It's on a platform called Media Valet, and your chapter has access to that. So you can use anything you find in there. If you want to create your own flyer, you can use some of our digital images. We have flyers already created. In some cases, you can just add additional text if you want to include your chapter information. We actually also just recently created a new video about joining, which is, I saw it this morning and it looks great. So at some point, I'm sure we'll be able to share that with you as well. And Kelly or Emily, you can correct me, but I think at least the chapter executive director as well as staff has access to Media Valet.
That is correct, yes.
Okay. Can pull those down immediately, but we could potentially share just an example, you know, some of those with this group as well to know what's in there.
And speaking to the video piece of it, we have a YouTube page and we post a lot of our videos on that page so that if chapters want to use any of those, you don't have to embed them somewhere else. You can use our link from our YouTube page. And I'm sure someone from my team will post where we are on YouTube for all of you. But again, all of those assets you guys have access to and are free to use at the chapter level. So again, if you're looking for some resources, make sure to touch base with your staff or your chapter executive director and see what those resources are. Like Christy mentioned, we do have a lot of photos in there as well that you have access to use. So if you are building any materials, instead of purchasing images, we have already purchased those copyrights. We actually worked with Getty Images and we got pictures taken within communities. So we've got a lot of those that are available at no cost to all of you at the chapter level. So just make sure, again, you're circling back with your chapter staff for that. Any other marketing questions, comments before I move on to my big question of the day? Okay, so it is strategic planning time. It's goal setting time for 2023. I cannot believe that we're talking about 2023 already, but it's that time. So from a membership committee perspective, what is your main goal for 2023? Or what would you like to see the main goal for your committee be for 2023?
Yeah, since I am the co-chair of the membership committee, this is Tracy Robinson, Greater Los Angeles chapter. Our goal is to, we want to definitely increase our membership, but we want people to really understand the true benefits of being a part of CAI. That's really important. And not only for gaining new members, but also that we're continuing to engage people who are members, because although you may be a member, are you participating? Are you capitalizing on all that CAI can do for you? So I think with that, we want to make sure that we're bringing in new members, but also educating our members today to make sure that we continue to keep them going, also provide them with the tools so they can also assist with bringing in new members as well. So that's the goal that we're doing. Basically, again, focusing on the benefits all around, whether it be for managers, business partners, and board members, just really focusing on the benefits of being a part of CAI and growing, you know, our base for our chapter.
Great, thank you, Tracy. I'm going to start calling out names if people don't start throwing things out. All right, you're the next on my screen. So Brent, what about you? What is your goal from a membership perspective for 2023?
Hey, Kelly. Yeah, I'm Brent representing CAI of Alabama. And we were just kind of stagnant this year from a membership perspective. I think we started the year, we're a smaller chapter, so we started the year around 200, dipped below that for a little bit, and now we're about back at the same. So just kind of want to continue to drive the engagement. We hosted 3 events outside of Birmingham where we typically hold our events, so that was great, and that drove a lot of momentum. So probably having more of those would be a goal. So more events outside of Birmingham, we're kind of centrally based, and then just driving more engagement, right? So you tend to have the same people at all the events, but getting more people that are involved in the chapter, going to more events would be another goal. So driving engagement and then hosting more events outside of Birmingham.
That's great. Anybody want to come off mute, or you want me to call out some more people? All right, Jennifer, I'm going to call on you. You're next on my screen from Illinois.
That's fine. Kind of similar to what Brent said. I mean, we're a larger chapter. We have about 1,460 members right now. And so we're always hovering around that 1,500 mark. Even before COVID, so pre-COVID, post-COVID, like that's like our number. And I just want to see us like reach those higher numbers. In years past, our goal was like 1,650, 1,600. We've never hit that. And I'd like to see us progress to the next level. And Brad is on here too. Brad is actually co-chair with me. And we're both brand new chairs. And we both have the same energy and drive to want to take this membership committee to the next level. We just don't know how. So this is like our first call. And, it's really interesting to hear what everyone else does because it's nothing like what we're doing. So we're learning lots, and, that's basically it.
And to feed off of what Jennifer said, her and I have been on the committee for like 4 or 5 years, give or take. And, we're trying to, re-energize the committee with new ideas and new thoughts and new people. The first thing we're doing is getting back to the core to identify, the different membership aspects, what it is the benefits to get to them to be within the committee. And, based upon that, we have some new people that are smart businessmen and everything, identify the benefits, identify their situation, and then come up with targeted programs to increase our membership within that. I'm hoping to, have that all done within the first 3 to 6 months so we can really make, headrows the second half of the time period.
Great, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna pick Devin. Devin, do you have ability to come off mute?
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, I mean,
Your
I
turn.
think just kind of like Jennifer, we've been stuck and hovering around this like 1,000, 1,100 number. And we went back, I think for like the last 15 plus years. It's like we lose people and we gain new ones. So there are changing. It's definitely different people. But we've tried so many things to try to figure out how to impact that number in the other direction. Our kind of current push is try to maybe, how do we create some of that FOMO, like just fear of missing out, so we get new faces in the door, like Brent was talking about, and trying to promote really some of the credentialing, just because that's like an advantage that maybe managers see the benefit of that, and then hopefully the board members see that and then give us access. Because when I go out and I talk to board members or managers, there's a lot of managers that are afraid of having an educated board. Like they like to be in control and not be called out when they mess up. And so there's like this constant conflict between getting homeowner leaders, which is where we really see the potential growth. Right now our chapter, actually, we have more managers than we do business partners. So although our business partners probably contribute more in terms of like attending than our managers. But yeah, I think that's really where we'd like to try to figure that out. We've tried a lot of different things, haven't figured out that secret sauce. So I appreciate being on the call and learning from others, and hopefully we can figure out how to take it to the next level.
Thank you, Devin. All right, someone from the Gold Coast. I know we've got a couple people on from there. Anyone want to speak from what you guys are looking forward to doing in 2023? And they might, there we go. Leslie, go ahead.
I'm on, but I'm a board member. I'm not the membership chair. So
okay.
I wouldn't necessarily want to comment on specific membership numbers and such.
And that's fine. As a board member, what would you like your committee to focus on for 2023 from that perspective?
I believe as a general rule of thumb, what we're really trying to work on is better engagement of our property managers. In Florida, the issue that we consistently see is, everyone focuses on their state CAM licensing and they don't quite understand the value of CAI. And so that's one of the priorities that we have. I'm actually coming off of being the education chairperson for this year. And so we're getting ready to have an event in November that we've called Let's Get Designated. So our whole point is to educate the managers here why designations matter, because there's been such a long-term group of managers in here that just focus only on their CAM license and on obtaining their redesignation requirements or their recertification requirements for the state, that they don't understand the value of the actual CAI designations. And so we're going to sit down and we're going to educate them on what those values are. And so that's an open to all managers event, just again, trying to increase manager participation as a whole.
Yeah. And don't forget, when you're doing those education pieces, don't forget to promote those out to the boards and what those different designations mean to the boards, that having a manager with these designations and these qualifications, what that means to them and how that benefits them as well. So I think that's an important piece also to remember when educating. Don't forget about those homeowners, because if they don't know what a CMCA or an AMS means or a PCAM means, that it's just letters behind a name, right? So if they understand, that will also help the managers want to have those letters behind their name.
Actually, to tie into that,
Yeah.
One of the things that the education committee is doing, again, because the state of Florida has such, requirements for education, board members typically, they have to take a board certification class after they are elected. And those are typically produced by the law firms, and they're approved by the state of Florida to meet all the legislative requirements and such. But that class doesn't focus on really how to be a board member. It isn't the CAI, fundamentals of board essentials class that CAI has. So our education committee is actually scheduling that class for the first part of the year next year to run it as almost like a continuing education for board members. So yes, board members still have to take their board certification class, but they can come to us to really learn how to be a good board member. And we're going to put that program out there that hasn't been put out in a while, because usually we only really focus on the board certifications for the state requirements.
Great. Thank you, Leslie. Rich, I had seen that you had come off mute. Go ahead.
Yeah, what we do in Nevada is a lot of the managers we're like some of the other states that the state requires licensing, and the licensing for renewals means you have to take so many credits, so many class credits. You have to have so many class credits. At the end of the year in December, it's usually a dark month for education because of all the holidays and all of that stuff. So what we started offering last year was last call for credits. All right, we have a marathon. We took 3 or 4 days, 2 classes each day, and we offered them for the managers that, they can take classes all year long, but they don't. So now they got to get it done because they have to renew in January. So last year we had 400 attendees at the 4 classes, not all in one class. They broke down. Of the 4 days, we had over 400 people attend. And it was such a hit. We did it in March. Again, we did an abbreviated one. We called it March Madness. Okay. And that was pretty good. There again, it had over 300 attending. So, just to keep them, and we get a lot of new members. And then when a new member signs up for the classes, that goes to the membership committee. Say, hey, you took the class. What'd you think? Blah, 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 and all of that stuff. So we kind of tie everything in with it too.
That's great. And And Rich, you bring up, or you make me remember a point too that I wanted to share with the group, that there is a lot of crossover, that just because you're the membership committee chair or on a certain committee doesn't mean that there's not connections with those other committees. And so make sure, again, you're talking with your board liaison, you're talking with your chapter staff to find out what other committees are doing. So for example, if there's education events going on, do you have membership committee members at those education events? Do you have flyers? Do you have marketing pieces? You know, if you're wanting to do a buddy program, how that went. So just make sure that that cross communication is taking place, because sometimes I do hear like, oh, I wish we would have known that committee was doing this, or I wish we knew they were doing XYZ things. So just make sure you're keeping those lines of communication open. And also, again, going back to your board liaison, if you don't have a board liaison, I highly recommend having one to keep you notified of anything that's going on within the chapter, any due dates, responsibilities that might be coming up, or even opportunities as well. You know, for example, this video that was just launched, being able to make sure that the staff, or again, the leadership of the chapter who got notified of this, is filtering that down to you as well.
Yeah, we enforce that in our annual chair training. Okay, and we tell them, you know, you get new members, send it over to membership, send the information over to membership. If somebody's looking for classes, send it over to education, you know, and things like that. And most of the time it's like at the networking events and things like that. So yeah, we've been kind of doing that for a while now.
Good job. All right, well, we're coming close to the end of time. So I just want to give a last opportunity if anyone wants to mention anything about what we discussed, or again, this is an open forum. If you have anything that you would like to throw out to this group for an opinion, or even to highlight a success that happened this year within the membership. No successes? You guys aren't excited about anything that you guys accomplished this year? I see some smiles, so I know some people are thinking of something. Nothing? You guys have nothing for me?
Well, I think,
okay.
I just want to say, I mean, to everyone, I think we all should tout our success, that especially since COVID passed and people were trying to gear up, that we're still hanging in there. We're still being very supportive of one another. And we do realize the benefits of CAI, but I mean, the membership will go up and down. We're all trying to get past a certain threshold, but just know that by you being in there working for your team, that is a success for all of us. So I think we all should give each other, you know, I used to teach Girl Scouts, so we used to go like this so they wouldn't make noise, put a hands up. But I think we all should be proud. We do have success, because it's been a trying time for many business partners who sometimes have to not step away because they don't have the funds and they're trying to get back to the way things were. So it is going to be a challenge, just to make sure that we are still promoting to get more members, but be thankful that we do have the members we have. We're continuing to get more. I believe it was Brent who said, yeah, you lose some come back, or you gain some, but you're still keeping that number. And I know Jennifer, she's hovering around that 1,500. They're just trying to get past the 1,500 mark. But I think that's a challenge for us all, but we're still hanging in there. So that is a success to our dedication. And one of our key things as part of when you see designation is your loyalty to CAI, to make sure that it continues to be a success. So hats off to everyone for that.
Thank you, Tracy. That was said perfectly. And so I'll close it out. Christy, do you have any last minute words or anything that you want to highlight to this group?
I do, actually. So if anybody wants to carry on the conversation and isn't aware, there's a group on the exchange for chapter membership development. So if there's an idea you want to run past the group and say, hey, has anyone tried this? Did it work? There is a group already in there, and I encourage you to join and participate and use each other for ideas and feedback. So if anyone has any questions about that, certainly reach out. But I think it's a great resource for everyone and what we're all trying to accomplish.
Great.
And thank you
again,
for everything you do.
And again, thank you for everything. If you need anything, again, make sure you're talking to your chapter staff. But again, us here at the headquarters level, we're always available as well. So I know you're seeing lots of communications from us all of the time. So feel free, if you need anything, reach out to us, reach out to your chapter staff, and reach out to each other. I think that's the greatest piece, is your peers. They might have tried something and can help tell you what the challenges were. Even if it wasn't a success, maybe you can learn and make it a success for your chapter. With that, thank you all for joining us today. We hope to have another one of these again in the spring. So if you are the chair again next year, we hope to see you then. If not, I hope you communicate to the new chairs to come and join the conversation and highlight and ask questions. So thank you all.